Happy 2022, everyone. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are just going to do this base. I'm just going to show y'all how I get this flawless base. Okay, so we start off with a fresh face, obviously. Make sure we're nice and moisturized. We're feeling good. Maybe you got some music playing because we're here for the vibes, okay? As you can see, my skin is not perfect, but we're going to make sure everything is corrected and flawless and all that good stuff, yeah? So the first thing that I like to do is just apply a spray primer. I do this before I put my actual primer on. I don't know, it just makes me feel good, right? So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then I'm just a little extra. So I take my fan that I got from Etsy and I just use that to fan out my face. So as you can see, I'm going to use my Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is the only primer that I've been using for the past couple of years. It's great. It has never failed me. So go ahead and get you one. So I just take that and apply that all over my face. And after I rub it in, as you're going to see, I like to pat it in just to make sure it's nice and tacky so it holds all my makeup right where it's supposed to be. In this video today, I leave in a lot of the actual process and timing as far as what I apply, how long it takes me to blend everything out. And so I really hope y'all appreciate that. If y'all don't, just let me know. I'm open to criticism. So as you see, I use two concealers. I use a darker one, which I'm gonna use first to color correct. And then I use the lighter one just to brighten everything up. So this concealer is very close to my skin tone, and I use that, like I said, as a color corrector. I find that after I put this down and then put my foundation on top, my skin is just flawless. Everything is just one color and it gives. So that's a nice little hack for all my people who are looking for some, flawless face hacks, because I'm here for the skin. This is definitely my favorite part of makeup. So when applying this darker concealer, I use a beauty blender because I don't want too much coverage. We're not looking for coverage with this first concealer. We're looking for coverage when we move on to the foundation, to that brightening concealer. And so we just want a nice thin layer of color to give an overall one seamless color, if that makes sense. Okay, so now moving on to the foundation. The brush that I'm using is by NYX, and the foundation that I'm using is Born This Way in the color Chai. So as you can see, I'm just gonna take this brush and bounce it in the foundation that's on the back of my hand and just blend. And you're gonna take your time, and you're gonna notice that because we put that thin layer of the concealer that's close to the skin color, none of the blemishes are really gonna peek through. You're gonna have just such a seamless, flawless base for everything that we're gonna put on top. I also wanted to put in this disclaimer. I'm about to be putting mad makeup on my face, and this is a very neutral, natural look, but it's still a glam. I don't like no makeup looks. I tried it in the past and it just doesn't make any sense. If I'm gonna wear makeup, I'm going all the way, okay? So yes, now you see that I grabbed my beauty blender and I'm just going over everything to take those streaks away, give it a nice little, blend, because there's a blend that you get from a beauty blender that you cannot, I don't care what you say, that you cannot get from a brush. So yes, go over your foundation, your concealer, everything with a beauty blender after the brush. Because then look at this. So next up is that lighter concealer. And so we're going to take that and put it in very specific places. So we're going to put it under the eyes, but just near the nose and near where your liner wing would be. We're going to put that down our nose. We're going to put a little dot on the middle of our nose. We're going to put some on the forehead and then at the chin area. Everywhere that you want it to look kind of lifted, because we made our face real flat with the foundation. And so the goal now is to add those dimensions back in. And so to do that, we use that lighter concealer and also we use contour. And just to include this rule of thumb, you want this lighter concealer to be 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin color. Also, you want it to make sure that it matches your undertone. I cannot stress the fact that the undertone of your concealer will literally make or break your whole look. So now we've moved on to contour. The way that I put on contour is going to be different from the way that somebody else puts on contour, and that's okay. It's about illusions. What type of illusion are we trying to create? For instance, I don't have high cheekbones, but I love the look of high cheekbones, and so that's why I bring my contour so close to my mouth. Okay. Now, as you saw, you saw me show the spray, but I spray my face before I blend everything out. You want everything to move nicely. I do use my beauty blender for this part because you don't want the contour to be like too stark, right? You want it to be nice and blended and just very seamless. The word of the day is seamless, definitely. And so, as you can see, I'm gonna blend out this contour, but try to keep it where I put it in the first place, right? Because contour can get very crazy very quickly. So take your time. If there's anything that's gonna help your makeup and the outcome of your face, your base, is your patience. So be patient. Look how good that looks. Like, come on. Ugh. This might be like one of my favorite parts of makeup. Just blending out the contour and the concealer and seeing the dimensions that we create. It's a real life artist. Like, this is an art. Put some respect on it. Contour is done. Well, actually, I forgot to blend under my chin. And so after the contour, we're going to move on to blending out the concealer. Now, with the concealer, I'm going to use a brush. This is a Real Techniques setting brush. And this is one of the best brushes to use for blending out concealer. So I'm going to spray my face again because I bet you if I tried to blend out this concealer without doing this, it would not move. And that's kind of what we want. So I'm extra fanning my face, and now we're going to blend out this concealer. Now, as you can see, it's not really blending. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some concealer on the back of my hand and take that brush and go directly into that concealer so it can kind of help the concealer on my face blend out. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm just talking a lot. Now you see I took my foundation brush just to blend out those edges. Layering and just going back on brushes that we've used and just like touching up is literally the best thing that you can do for your base. That's how you get a really flawless base. And like I said, this is my favorite part of makeup, and I like to think that I kill my skin every time I do my face. So I will not lead you astray, I promise. As you can see right here, I take that concealer and go under my brow because I don't conceal my brows anymore. Like, that's too much. And In the next video, actually, because this is just a base video, in my next video, I'm going to show you how I do my brows so that you don't have to conceal them. And it literally takes me like 5 minutes to do my brows, and I'm really happy to show you guys how I do that. I'm giving y'all all the secrets, all the tea, okay? I'm leading you to a beat face. I got you. So while I'm just blending out my concealer, I just wanted to come on here and just express my gratitude if you are still here tapped in, holding space with me while I do my face. I hope you're learning something, and I hope that you're happy to be here. For 2022, I am gunning for consistency and just showing up and just being here and just doing what I do. And I really appreciate you for coming back to my channel. If you've been here before, if this is your first time, welcome. I am really excited for the new year, and I hope that you come back. Now, like I said before, after going in with the brush, we're always gonna go back in with the Beauty Blender just to smooth everything out. Excuse me while I sip this tea. And now we're going to move on to setting the face. This is another one of my favorite parts of makeup because you really get to see the flawlessness. I need a new word. The flawlessness of what we've done. Setting the face is super important because, you know, we want the makeup to stay where we put it, right? So setting the face makes that happen. Your makeup will be on as long as you need it to be. Your makeup will be nice and matte. Like, look at that. Oh, I love it. As you can see, my contour is still a little greasy. My foundation is still a little shiny, but that's where we move on to a pressed powder. Well, I do. So we're gonna take a powder brush and we're gonna use that brush to go over everything, right? We want everything to be seamless. We want everything to be connected, but also gradual at the same time. Using a nice, beautiful actually powder. The one that I'm using is the Born This Way. The line is really everything. But yes, using a all over face powder just really meshes everything nicely. There are no lines, there are no streaks, there is no lines of demarcation or any of that. Look at that. Look at that. I am so impressed. And then next, which is my other favorite part, is bronzer. The bronzer that I use is from Mented Cosmetics, and this is the most beautiful bronzer that I've ever used. It's the perfect tone. It has a little bit of like gold reflex in it, and it gives that like sun, like you've been sitting in the sun getting the melanin, like been baking and cooking and all that. So just apply that everywhere that we put that concealer, and it really diffuses, contour. It really diffuses everything. It makes everything just one nice, even masterpiece. I don't even know what to say, but bronzer is definitely one of my favorite parts, and as you can see, it's just a vibe. Now, this part is another, well, it's not really my favorite, but I just use a contour powder to carve out my nose contour. And that's really self-explanatory. Just gonna carve out this nose. I personally love my nose. I do this for show, honestly. So yeah. Like, are we feeling this? Are we loving this? Do we like this? Do we hate it? Like, I love it. So this is the face after we put all the makeup and all the base stuff that really gives that flawless base, okay? The last thing that you want to do is take your setting spray and just give your face a nice good mist. This is going to take away any powderiness that we might have. Then I like to take my beauty blender and just push whatever like kind of got lifted back into the skin, melt it real nice, and just pull the whole thing together. Okay, if you made it all the way to the end, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I really hope you learned something. I hope you give this a try. And yes, the next video will be to complete this face. All right, so until next time, peace out.